Hi.
Hello, hello.
Oh, back at it. It's gonna be so chill today. I hope we're
You
all having
left
like
us
one.
unsupervised on Friday, and everybody was just like, "Oh, where's Ramon? Oh no!" There was screaming, there was crying, there was the rending of garments. It was messy.
I hopped in a little bit at the end.
It,
The chat was amazing as always. It's good to see you all. Um, let's do a little bit of
admin?
admin before we start. If you're joining in for the first time, hello, I'm Ramon. Jess and I are running a series of free boot camps. Now we're doing the JavaScript one. If you do want to catch up on what we've done so far. We're starting our third week now. Um,
No.
yeah,
And that's
yeah, we've
3
been
of 8? Yeah.
maybe
Do you know do you know where people can find out?
exactly. Let's do that. So all of the YouTube recordings are here on youtube.com/@badwebsiteclub. By the way, if you're looking for the recording of the session last week on form validation, we are talking to YouTube to fix it.
Yeah.
Should be up shortly in one way or another. Yes, schedule. You will find on our website, badwebsite.club. There you can find the schedule for the free
Oh,
JavaScript bootcamp. Oh,
same thing
just
at the
got it.
same time, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Thank you very much. And lastly, if you want to join the conversation on Discord, you can ask questions, you can share solutions. People have been making more and more custom solution or custom like versions of the RPG game.
Okay, but
Um,
that's because it's the fun one. Like, the RPG
it's
is, like,
so
definitely
good.
the most fun.
It's so good, and I love what folks are doing. Yeah, so that's the Discord there. Come and join in. You gotta react to the message in the welcome channel with a check mark, and we'll let you invite bot.
If
I
you saw
think that
me, like, talking to myself, that was counting on a calendar. It is 8 weeks, so we're almost halfway done.
amazing.
But, 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 we absolutely do not expect folks to finish this whole certification in 8
Oh no,
weeks.
no.
No, so these live streams, it gives us selfishly, it lets us chat to y'all, and we love y'all. Um, but also these are supposed to be ongoing artifacts. So you can come back,
Yeah.
and if you people finish this weeks later, months later, we've got folks who come back the next year for the boot camp and finish with us. There's no hurry, nothing's wrong. There's no deadlines.
Yeah. Um okay.
So,
Yeah, so that's what we're up to. I'm going to send y'all a link to where we'll get started today. We had some homework. So today we're going to be starting from step 40 of the sorry. I
oh,
sent it as
sorry.
well. You're good.
Both of
Um
us have access to the chat at the same time, and it's just deep, deep chaos.
Everything is fine. Yeah, so we'll be continuing with the music player project, and I figured we'd jump right into what we're doing.
So,
And yep,
usually we'd talk through what this code is doing. Unfortunately, so we could talk it through in Discord later. We've got to go a little bit fast today because we're going to be introducing a new concept later on. So here, I'm just going to jump in.
yeah, we'll define
Oh,
a new function. Oh,
I forgot how to do this. We learned how to do it yesterday, but there's a weird
ah,
way to do
yeah.
functions,
So
which
we're going to be
should be
defining an.
illegal.
It's weird, right? So like this is going to be a variable called pause song. You need to assign to it a value first, Jess.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Equals, and then have the smooth brackets for the parameters, and then that arrow, and then the curly brackets. I think you've got one pair of smooth brackets too many. That
Oh,
one there. Yeah.
this one.
Hmm.
Oh. I don't like it.
So
I don't
that
like it.
is an that's called an arrow function. We did those last Friday, and essentially it's the same as writing function and storing that reference of a function to a variable.
Okay. So just a different way to do a function, but the function is a variable.
Hmm.
I don't love it, but we get a little green
Oh,
stripe
pat
and a
pat.
pat pat.
We can keep going.
Store the current time of the song when it's paused. Set the song current time to the user data up.
So we'll, in order to store the current time, we will. So we'll need to access the user data object. So if we type out user data inside the body of the
No,
function,
it's not a parameter. Okay.
no, user data, then we're going to change its dot song current time attribute property. Sorry, we will set that so with the assignment equal sign to be the audio's current time property. So audio dot current time.
Okay. And these are almost all variables we've named, but just looking at this, we've got really human readable names on these variables.
Mm,
So this arrow function is called pause song.
yep,
And I'm saying, hey, the first thing I'm going to do is this user data current song time. I'm going to
yep.
set it to the audio current time. And I assume that's the audio that's playing now.
Exactly. So when we pause the song, we're saying like, "Hey, remember where I was at
Okay. Yeah.
in the song."
Okay. So yep. Got a little pat.
Cool.
We're going to hustle a
Nice.
little bit fast. Use the class list and remove method to remove the dot playing class from the play button, since
Mhm.
the song will be paused this time. Okay.
Cool. So we are going to access our play. We're going to access our play button variable in line 106 dot, and we're going to call on it the function remove. And now I'm not sure anymore.
Use
Let's
class. I think class list is a
yeah.
function.
Oh, right. So we call remove on the class list of the play button. That's it.
Okay, it sounds like you're just saying different stuff, but I suppose you're legally allowed to.
Sorry, I'll explain myself when we're better when we're looking at the code again. Could you scroll up, please?
Look, can I? Can I?
There. So instead of calling play button dot remove, what we'll want to do is call it on the class list attribute of the play button. No, don't delete that.
Oh,
No, you were good. Sorry.
I've never been good.
So we want to have instead of play button dot remove, we want to have play button dot class list dot remove.
Okay.
So we're going to access the class list of that play button. You want to have a dot there.
So
So
I'm
you're saying
gonna so play button's a function. Class list is an
play
attribute of
button's a
that function.
no, play button's a variable
It's a
that
variable.
holds the HTML element.
Yes.
And we're getting the class list property, the list of classes of that element. And on that list, we're calling the function remove, which takes us a parameter, the name of the class we're going to remove, which is playing.
Playing.
And I believe it's without the dot.
I
And it's a
think
string, sorry.
Oh, heck. I'm pretty confident that this is gonna give us an error, and I'm really chill with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Then
we
we
use the
will,
pause.
so we will call the pause function on the audio. No, so it's audio.pause.
What?
Yeah, because the pause and the keyword here is method. A method is a
Oh.
function that's assigned to an object or class, and we want to call that, so we need the curly braces, the smooth brackets. There we go.
Okay. Look, I'm
Nice.
not
I'll do a little pat
very,
pat.
very confident about this, but ah, and
Oh,
Mario points out to be like, "Hey, cool, what we're talking about is we're talking about the CSS class of the play button."
right.
Okay, thank you. So this is just a heads up. The bootcamp is free, free code camp is free, but free code camp, the people who make our learning materials, are a registered nonprofit. If you've
Yeah,
got the money, don't spend money you don't have. It is extremely cool and good to send them some.
amazing. So now we're gonna have it. We're gonna add that click listener to our pause button. So we'll call pause button dot add event listener.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do the easier way.
And it's going to take 2 arguments, this function.
And is click in what's spoiler, wasn't it? Where's my yeah. Was click a string?
Click is a string. It's the name of the event, and that's click. The second one is the name of the function that will be called, which is pause button. Notice I said the name, not calling the function itself, so no brackets.
Okay.
That looks good.
Does it? Does it?
Let's try it out. We do have. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Oh no, I'm in hell. It's playing
Oh, it's
and
pause
really
song. It's not pause button. It's pause song.
fantastic. Sorry, I've got headphones in, so y'all can't tell that it is very,
Oh,
very loud and
oh,
playing.
you. Right, we could hear it as well.
Could you? Oh, that's quite
Or at
fun.
least I could.
Oh. Oh, we're getting very
Okay. So let's try. Oh, nice.
I do like that it does play music. This is quite nice. This is fun. Oh, y'all are just out here just like, "Just fix it in the chat." Thank you so much, my loves. Y'all can
All.
hear it too. I love this.
Oh,
We check our code. It works,
oh.
so I think it works.
Let's find out.
Oh,
Nice, pat pat.
little pat pat. Before I start working on playing the next and previous song, we need to get yeah. In order
So we're
to decide what to play next, we need to get the index of and
so first we'll need a function
I got
called
you. Oh, you can you're telling them,
your.
not me.
No, you're good. So called get current song index, which we will assign to be. Don't forget the assignment,
Oh,
the equal
look.
sign.
It was just me be like, "I know how to do this." You'd be like,
No,
"Jess,
you're.
come back, come back."
This is great. And then we'll have the little arrow, and then the curly brackets. Perfect. I like to put spaces between the assignment, the smooth brackets, and then the arrow and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that looks
Ooh,
nice.
Monica, that's a super good question. I'm gonna Monica was joining me, but like it was weird when like doing the homework when you just suddenly get like audio. I wonder if Quincy really made these.
I love it.
Uh,
So now we can
do
check.
you know my
Looks good.
favorite thing about this is like the
Mhm.
Quincy fan art up here, or he made a picture of himself. Both of those are
I
cute.
love it.
So,
Um,
oh, is
yeah.
this new? Have we seen this before?
No, so we're going to be calling. So we're going to be using a function that exists on array, a method that exists on arrays called index of. And what you can do is give it as an argument. Hey, what's the index of this thing? Now remember, indexes go from 0 to length minus 1. So in this example, we've got an array with 3 animals, dog, cat, and horse. So when we call animals.index of and then cat, we'll get back the array, the index 1. If it doesn't exist, we get a -1.
Okay. Oh, so we saw something similar when we were talking about that method that moved things up and down the the stack. What was that called?
Say that again, please. Oh, push and
Uh,
pop? No.
push and pop. Yeah, no. Hmm.
Well, could you repeat the question?
So when we started this project,
Yeah.
we did and learners, if y'all can get this to this before me, we use that alphabetical comparison.
Oh,
What was the
sort?
method? Sort did the same thing with -1 and 1, right?
Not quite.
As like the
No, sorry. That's just a confusing example. No. So negative. So if you look for the index of an object in the array that doesn't exist, it's going to give you -1. Otherwise, it's going to give you the index of the object itself. So
okay,
for example, here we're looking up like, hey, in the user data songs, what is the index of the user data current song?
cool. So if we get -1 returned here,
Yep.
that's a, "Hey, there's no -1 in an array." It's like a boop boop.
Exactly.
So
That the song you're trying to look for is not in this array.
yeah. So here what I've done is said, because it says return inside my function, return
Yep, we need return.
return user data. The question mark and dot is like the asking for it if you've got it.
Yeah.
User data dot question mark dot songs index of, and then inside this for the index of argument, we're setting it to user data question mark dot if you've got it current song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
My ability
Okay.
to copy and paste is absolutely unparalleled.
So now we're going to make a function called play next song, which is an arrow function. So we're going to set that to be equals to.
Do
Don't
you know
forget the
what?
equal sign before the.
I insist on forgetting the equal sign. I'm going to respectfully skip this one because we're just creating an empty variable, and we've just done that 3 times. So I'm going to skip ahead to step 47 if that's okay.
Perfectly cool. So now that we've got our function, we're going to have an if statement in there
And I
that
remember
will.
the if has got that,
Mhm.
and then I've got my curly babies, that being a very technical term.
Perfect.
Why don't you like that?
So, oh, because we need to put the condition in there. So
So
we're going to check that the the user data dot current song
ha ha ha.
is strictly equal to null. So that strictly equals 3 and then null.
So if that's true, call the play song function
Mhm.
with
So we will need let's break this down a little bit. We
yeah.
need the ID of the first song. So how about we make a variable between 112 and 113?
And this is just going to be temporary. This is just for us to think about.
Yeah, let's call it const first song. And we'll set it to be user data conditional thingy
Oh,
question mark dot songs. And now to get the first one, we'll use the bracket notation, the square bracket notation to get the first one, which is the one at position 0.
yeah. Oh,
Yep, perfect. Then in play song, we want to pass to it the ID of the first song. So we can just say first song.id in line
okay.
114 in the brackets.
So this, I don't think this is going to work because it's expecting something pretty specific in the test. But this would like work in, this would actually work. What? You should data current song equal. Oh yeah.
Oh, we
It's a
forgot
weird.
no, we forgot the question mark in line 112.
Okay, but that's not the only thing that's broken. I don't think it's going to like us doing this with a, yeah. So the .id is what it wants. And so instead of us making a separate const, it wants us to use this this bit of code. I know, I know. I like it better with a variable as well, but
Fair. Don't forget
this
a semicolon.
I will forget a semicolon.
Not
So
there, sorry, in line 113 at the end.
I told you. Um, so what we did is this had been set to a variable, and then we said variable.id. And what we've done
Yeah.
here is instead of doing that in 2 steps, we've taken the value of where the variable pointed, and set it here, and then just said, "Get me the ID from here." So
Yeah.
more efficient, at least for me, less friendly to read.
Yeah, I think a little bit of verbosity goes a long way. A little bit of like being wordy.
What
So
is
we'll do an
verbosity?
else. Yeah, like being a little bit more, a little wordier. Isn't that
Oh,
right?
yeah, so I just loved it. Verbosity is such a good word. So we only need an if and else here. Else
Hmm.
call
We'll get the get current song index.
yeah, I'm just gonna copy and paste
So
this
first we're
down.
gonna, well, before that we need to declare a new variable called current song index. So const uh,
Oh,
current song index is
equal.
equals to, and then the value of that.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine.
Fantastic. Cool.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get the next song. So we're gonna create a variable called next song. Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, hold on.
Go
So
a
you need to declare it. So
I
you need the
don't
const.
know. I was just checking to see if you did. Yeah, talk to us about what's going on here. I feel okay about typing these up.
Cool. So we're going to assign to it so now that we have the index of the current song, we're going to get the next song, which is retrieved by getting the song that is at the current index plus 1.
Yeah. So
And then we're going to, sorry.
no, no, no. So here we've done a really similar thing both times where we say, hey, go to the user data, and if songs are available, give me the ID of 0. And that's if nothing's playing. And here's like, hey, if else, if it's not nothing, if it's not absent, give us the song after where we're at. Yeah.
Correct.
Way.
Now, but we need to play it first. So another line and we'll call play song next song .id. So it'll take as an argument the ID of next song.
It's just me getting very, very pleased with myself and not reading the instructions.
You're good. There we go. That's a little pat pat.
Little pat pat. And do you know what? This ad break gives me another chance to have a little bit of something to drink and look around at horror with the chaos my cats are doing in the background.
Yep. In case you're missing it, like, of course, if you want to, you can donate to Free Code Camp. We're a registered nonprofit. But don't do it don't feel pressured to do so. You can come back and do it later. Cool. So now we're going to try out the play next song function by adding a event listener to our next button element. So we're going to go to our next button variable. So next button. Shiny, I see your question. I'll give you the short version and then we'll go into it again. So user data may or may not have the properties that we're looking for, and that's why we use the question mark with it. We'll go into it more in the Q&A. So it's not on ClickJess, sorry, it's add event listener. Which takes...
But like, on click would work for the functionality we're thinking about.
Believe so, yes. And here we're going to pass to it play next song. We can try it out now. Perfect. I do like the idea that these are Quincy songs. I wasn't sure. I haven't.
We just call him on the we can't we could call him on the phone to be like, Quincy, listen to this. This is you. I love this because it's such a good example for learners everywhere that like, hey, you can't. There are people who make code their whole thing, but like, nah. I'm in no position to tell people what's cool, but like, hey, I only do this one thing. Nah. Our learners are rich and diverse whole people who do lots of things and have a nice time.
Sorry, Jess. You need to put the equal
Said
sign.
Said it too.
There it is. Nice.
Also, while we're setting good examples, you can work a tech job, not a JavaScript programming job, probably, and consistently forget to assign your variables, and it still won't hurt you too bad at the end of the day.
Cool. So similar to the previous function, we're going to do if and check that the user data's current song is not set. If it is set to null, sorry. Yep.
So, hey, is the current song? Is there no current song?
Then we'll just return.
Okay.
Then we'll do an else.
Oh, heck, let's do the else actually outside the if statement. I think otherwise we get in a little bit of trouble.
And we'll declare a variable called current song index and set it to be the return value of get current song index. Yes. Perfect. Amazing. Perfect.
We're hustling right along. I know that asking people, do you understand, is unfair. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, I am actively trying not to cry, and 10 being like, oh, yeah, I could do this. How are folks feeling in the chat? I'm at a solid 2, personally.
From 1 to 10?
I mean, consistently. I'm not going to cry, but I'm not going to cry. I mean, it's 2024.
I'll go with 8.
Between the two of us, we're like in a very, very good place.
Cool.
So to get the
We
previous.
want to have a. We're getting some numbers. We got a 4.5 of 5. 4.5 is very specific. Like almost
4.5, like, right? Where you're just like, okay, I've got you up until that arrow function, and then no. I've got somebody
Jess,
saying
I'm so sorry.
yes, that's not
That
right.
-1 there is not the current index.
Oh.
What we want to do is create a new variable called previous song.
Okay, look, I'm now. Oh, do you know? I don't know what's going on, but it's not hurting me, so it feels silly to. And that's going to be.
That's going to be user data !songs. Yep, exactly. And we want to get the song at the index that is the current one -1. Square brackets.
Yeah.
Brackets.
Okay.
Current song index -1.
Uh,
Otherwise, we're getting a song that doesn't exist. So inside where you have that -1, you want
Yeah.
the square brackets. Current song index -1. Monica, could you elaborate your question, please? Because we're assigning a set of user data. Yeah, we're looking at the current song, as getting the index of that current song, and then playing the previous song there. Let's play that song, by the way, Jess.
oh, can
So
we?
play song and
Wait,
pass
hang
to
on.
it the arc.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you were like push play. I'd be like, I could do that, but you mean here? Play song and then pass it previous song. I just want to talk through this code a little bit because I'm a little lost and selfishly. Oh, do I? I don't. Eh. So, if the user data, if we don't have, if the current song associated with user data doesn't exist, just return. Just come back and say nah. But if there is a current song associated with user data, go ahead and create this new variable, which is set to get current song index. So here's a new variable based on where we are. Okay. And here's another new variable set to previous song, set to user data. If I have songs and if I have a current song index of -1 for songs. So this is saying, go look at my songs. And if there is a song before -1 in the array from where I'm at now,
Yeah,
that's what I want to set this to.
correct.
And we know that exists because if it didn't exist, wait, no,
We don't know
we
if
know,
it doesn't exist.
we don't know if it exists. I was going to say the if handles it. The if doesn't handle this.
Yeah,
Okay. So this is saying if there is a song that was before the song I'm playing now in my index, play that song.
correct. But exactly, I don't know what. So now if you press back. Cool.
Still doesn't
Maybe
work.
we have a typo. Let's
Maybe not a
Jess,
typo.
Jess, we haven't added the event listener.
Oh, heck.
We don't need to do that. We're doing that in the next step.
Next step. Okay. Add a click event listener to the previous. Okay. We just did this. This can't hurt us.
Yeah, I'll answer Mitch's question. Mitch's question in the meantime. Does the return after the if statement need to be inside the curly brackets? So it needs to be in the scope of where we want to return from. So if that if statement gives us a true, then yeah, we want to return in there, but only in there.
So this is me saying, hey, look. Now I want you to be listening for if I click play
Yeah.
previous song.
Perfect.
Okay, and these are all next to each other, so we can see.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back.
Nothing will happen when I go back because that behavior is not set. But if I go forward first,
Perfect. That's a pat.
also like very like a little bit chirpier than like lo-fi. Like very, it's like I like it. If I check
So
closely,
the next thing we want to do is start highlighting the current song. So we're going to create a new function called highlight current song.
And I'm going to copy and paste this just because it can be really easy to typo. We're going to use this. We're going to set it to this arrow function. I gotcha. And inside the function, use query selector all to get the playlist. Okay, inside the function.
Monica, I'm not sure I understand your question. Could you clarify it, please, and then we'll bring it to the into the Q&A? Go ahead, Jess. So we want to.
Oh no, I'm thinking.
Oh, you're
So
good. So we want a new variable called playlist song elements.
yeah, a lot of times with this, and I think what this is one thing I really like about these project-based things is you've got to look at a little paragraph and be like, and it's not do the things in the order. You've got to stop and be like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
where in this English language or Spanish, if you're using the Spanish, or do they have Dutch?
I'm not sure.
Where, oh, Deutsch. I got really excited. No. Play current song, and that's going to be set to query selector all.
Yep. So we want to
Playlist song.
document dot query selector all.
And if y'all are doing this and it takes you more time than it takes us streaming, y'all probably do not have a Ramon with you, like right next to you in your ear.
So hold on, Jess. We need to that dot playlist song is the class. So we actually need to wrap that in smooth brackets and then a quote marks.
So all of this is in.
No, as of dot playlist song.
Okay, so
Open bracket.
I know how to do a bracket. I don't.
Sorry.
No. I'm picking on you. I'm trying to
And
make
then we need
myself
quote
feel
marks.
a little bit less silly because sometimes I don't always know what's going on, but it doesn't hurt me.
There we
So
go.
that's a class. Hang on. This new const playlist song elements is going to the document, and that's going to be our CSS
No, our
and
DOM. So the
our
HTML.
DOM, the HTML. So it's going to my document object model. And I say, hey, go to my HTML. You know where that is. And I want you to look through everything and give me this CSS class, the playlist song. So the elements that have it.
Exactly. All of the ones that have that class.
Yeah.
So
So we're
essentially
not
all
looking
of
at
the
the
elements.
CSS,
Yeah.
but we're looking at the
Yeah.
class that. Okay.
Stephen B saying no dot in the class name. No, we need the dot because this is a query selector. It's not get element by class name or something. So we need to, it's essentially a CSS selector. So we need hashtags and dots for this.
My pro tip is if you're not sure when to use it or not, try it first with it. And then if that breaks,
Pretty
remove
much.
it.
But you can see at the end of, like, it's kind of hard to see, but there is the dot at, like, you know, where it says playlist song. If you go one character before, there we go. Thank you, Jess. Yeah.
Oop. So there is
Nice.
the
That
dot.
looks good.
We need to get the
So
ID of the current playing song. Okay.
cool.
We're going to
So
do that
we'll go
inside.
on our, yes. So we'll get a new const called use a highlight to get the idea.
Song to highlight.
Do we? Oh yeah. Okay.
I got you. Look at this.
So
Like
document.
I read one thing almost right, and look how confident I get.
We're not doing it.
Wait,
We're
what
not
am I
doing a
doing?
function,
No.
Jess. No.
Look, I just got really into the arrow syntax.
So
So here I'm going to
what
use
we want here
get
is
element ID.
we want document dot get element by ID.
And
So
then
we'll type in,
inside that,
yeah, we'll use template literals. Don't forget the dot after document.
document
Perfect.
with the ID of the current playing song. Used to oh no. I got it. Template literals were the backticks.
Yeah.
You know what? I still haven't found them on my keyboard. So give me a hot second.
Take your time. Should I take over for a bit?
Do you want to? Yeah.
Only if we want to like
You got
take a
someplace
break.
to go, and we'll go faster if you go first.
Oh, Jess, I'm not in a hurry for real.
No, no, no. I'm in a hurry. Let's go. Also, I'm lazy. Come on.
Fair enough. Let me switch out. So just mostly because just in case I
Oh,
could help. It's helpful that I have the backticks on my keyboard. Let's see, is the size there okay? I think we can have a little more. Okay. So it's called Song to Highlight. Let me set
very
that to
human
be.
readable.
Uh,
Document dot get element by ID. Okay, so we're gonna go to our HTML, our document object model, and we're gonna look for, and this is cool because it'll say song dot, and then
so
we
it'll
put
be.
our,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, and now so song dot is where we're looking. Yeah, and now we're gonna search for this combination of this text in our HTML plus looking for this variable value, user data. If it has a current song, give us the, and if that current song has an ID.
Exactly. We're gonna look up in our DOM an element with the ID song dash the ID of the current song.
Okay,
So
yeah.
song
So
dash
it's going to
one,
find one.
yeah, get single element by ID. Looks good. Keep going. Now we're going to use a method called for each.
Have we done this yet?
For each we haven't. So for each is gonna look super familiar. Anything that's list or array like has a function called for each, which takes as an argument a function, a callback. That callback takes one argument, which is the current member of the array that we are looking at. It is essentially a for loop.
I was going to say this feels like sort of a loop that's magically built into arrays or lists, or, oh no, what was that thing that's like an array, but it's not?
Node lists.
Node lists, which we have abstracted away so they can't hurt us.
Perfect. Let's just play with it on Python Tutor real quick. So here's an array of numbers. So our first number is 1. You see that it's locally here. Return value is undefined because this function inside for each doesn't return anything, but it's printed out 1. Next step, now number is 2. This function's getting called. 3, 4, 5. So, Tower of Brilliance, I am 100% with you, and if it were up to me, I would put this in a variable. If it were up to me, let me just be like, I don't actually need a comment for this. Song ID equals this, and then I'd put here current song ID. Yeah? So we want to have the current song ID be this. So then we're going to look up the element that has this ID, which remember the current song ID here corresponds to this. Otherwise, we're just overloading our stuff and it makes the code really hard to read. Anyway, so we're going to use the for each, whoopsie, playlist song elements. We're going to call for each on playlist song elements. Can folks remind me what was playlist song elements again?
Oh, it was the
What was this again? This is here. What's this?
yeah. So that's the,
If we look at the HTML real quick.
yeah.
It is each of these elements because they each have the class playlist song. So playlist song elements is these elements here. So we're going to loop through each of them with song L as the name of our callback argument. And we've entered an empty callback here. It is a node list. That's right. Thank you, Mitch.
Oh, it is. So, okay. So for each of the songs in the song list,
Song element.
we're going to remove the aria current attribute from that. Okay, and the aria current attribute is a attribute in H. So aria attributes in HTML are something that was sort of built into HTML later on in the language's life, and these add additional spaces with additional tools for accessibility. And here we're saying, okay, we'll learn more
Remove.
about.
Yeah, we're
So,
going to remove. We're going to look at all of our songs and remove that attribute.
yeah. I bet except for the song that's currently playing. I bet that's our next step, isn't it?
Yep.
Maybe. Not I definitely didn't look at this right before class.
So, if you can, do consider donating to Free Code Camp, but you don't have to. So we will ask me later. So now we'll need to add the attribute back to the currently playing song. So
Okay.
if song to highlight, so if that song to highlight exists, song to highlight, we'll call on it set attribute. So we'll set a new attribute to it.
And that's the
Aria
current.
current. So that's the attribute we're going to set, and the value for that attribute is going to be true.
And this seems weird, but what we've done here is we said, hey, before this, we had the aria attribute for all of these songs set to current, but that's kind of a jerk move for folks using accessibility technologies. This is us saying, oh yeah, do you know which thing we're looking at now? We're looking at all of them now. And that's not true. And here, Mitch has got this. And Mitch is like, oh,
yeah.
hey, now that we've removed it, we've got to go in and re-add it back just to the song that's actually the current element we're looking at. Very, 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 very timely. Thank you so much. And the thing is, I feel like it's difficult because like a lot of our learners are just like, I'm right. I'm asking these smart questions. Y'all, if you've got goofy questions in your heart or if you're not sure of them, I'm just out here asking the goofiest questions 24/7.
And this answers Mitch's question now. Of course, we haven't highlighted any songs yet, but when we go to play a song, even if none is currently playing, when we go to play this song, we will call the function highlight current song, and that will now highlight it. See?
Oh, I can't hear it when you play it. Oh, that's a shame.
It's probably not sharing my audio. Sorry about that, folks.
No,
But it is
it's for
working.
the best.
I think. Yes. Nice.
It's a
Cool.
good
The
song
next
for
thing
me
we're
to
going to
like,
do. Yeah, go
please.
ahead.
No, I'm just making sounds. Oh
I'm
yeah,
making a new function here.
just a weird little pointy function.
Cool.
Which actually, folks in the chat, are we getting chiller and chiller about this arrow function? Like me in my heart, I still don't love it. Like I got very, very attached to the like function and then calling the name of it. But are y'all chill with this now? Like, are you like more mellow with this than I am? Okay. So, set player display. We're going to have a variable called playing song, and that's going to be set to the element on our DOM, which has player song title as its ID. Okay. Oh, Monica, I'm so sorry. I'm not picking on you, but like, same. Like the ability to be where it's like, make an empty arrow function. I'm like, gotcha. And then as soon as it's time to put stuff in it, I'd be like, and then we're creating a variable called song artist, and that's saying go to the document and get the element of ID from player song artist. Okay. That doesn't need to be set to the ones from the current song?
Yeah, so these are we are just grabbing the two elements in our DOM called player song title and player song artist. We haven't done anything yet, so we'll pat and we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Now we're going to set current title to be user data current song title. We're updating these variables. Current artist is going to be user data current song artist.
Okay.
No. What? Oh, I didn't. So these are variables that didn't exist yet. My bad. So we're grabbing from the user data object, the song and artist respectively.
Steven makes a good point to say, like, cool. I sort of get the arrow function, pointer function, but you know what's great is being able to like visually scan your code and see like function for the functions.
Yeah.
Right? Like the human readability of the old way.
For folks who are saying that it takes a little longer when you're on your own, it takes longer when this is unfamiliar to you. It's like it's not knowing is a part of learning.
And we cheat. We've done this before. We've got Ramon on the call. This is so
What's up?
it's like, oh yeah, it takes forever to make my own stuff, and when it works, I'm a bit proud of myself. Oh, you should
I love
be.
that.
Sorry, I'm just a big old marshmallow, and when everybody's somebody having a nice time learning. So
cool. We want to set the text content of a node, of the playing song node. Text content allows us to either retrieve or set the content of an HTML element. For example, we've got an element here. If we get that element's text content, it just gives us a string of the content, not the HTML, but the content. So what we're going to do is for the playing song.text content, we're going to set it to be if the current title exists, set it to set current title. Otherwise, we set it to current string. Let's just go through this step by step.
Ternary operator was the weird way to say. Oh, so hang on. I'm going to check several things. So
yes.
Here, a node means the content of the specified HTML element, not the element itself, but the text. Yeah. Mitch has got it. So text content is the text between the opening and closing tags of an element that can contain text. Rat. Also, Mitch, that was a much better way to explain it than I did. Ooh,
so
Kelvin,
if the current title exists, as in it's not undefined, so we'll use ternary. So condition question mark, then we'll set it to be current title. Otherwise, set it to be an empty string. Where's my quote marks? There they are. This looks a little bit repetitive and annoying, but essentially remember, first we have the conditional of our ternary operator. Hey, if this is truthy, i.e., if current title is not undefined, then set it to be the current title. But if current title is undefined, then set it to be an empty string. Let's bring in Python tutor just to be 100% sure. I am true.
Oh, is Python tutor really useful for stuff? I'm never going to let you live it down that you knew this was a thing the whole time. Kelvin, that's a fantastic question. We're definitely going to get to this at the end. Everything's fine. I mean, everything's as fine as it can be.
So we have a variable called message, whose value is I am truthy. So it's going to console log. If message is truthy, it's going to console log the message. Otherwise, it's going to console log no value here.
Oh, and
yeah.
I was going to ask about the ternary operator again because I forgot it. And I was going to guess, I think this is like a weird syntax for writing if else. And it does seem to be.
It indeed is.
And I don't are we supposed to make judgment calls on how we do this? Um,
What you mean?
I was gonna say that there being so many, different ways to do syntax. Oh, you can write an if else this way or this way. Little cursed. I mean, I was gonna say nobody asked for that, but surely somebody did.
Yeah, and I mean, look, when you're recognizing these things when you're reading is important, but knowing what to grab for when you're writing, it's using the latest and greatest and fanciest. Look, if you don't remember how to do an arrow function, just write a regular function. If you don't remember how to do a ternary operator, just do an if and else. Like, you're not better or worse a developer because you don't remember the newest and fanciest way to do it. So that's that. Now we're going to do the same for the playing song dot current artist, sorry. Dot text content is equals to current artist question mark artist, otherwise empty string. There we go.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let's keep going.
And just as
So
a
we're
spoiler, we've got something kind of hard coming up in 2 steps.
yeah, there's one step, like, so we're coming up to the last 10 minutes of this lesson. There is one concept that I do want to cover later on. So in a few minutes, I
Let's
might skip to step 76.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
do you wanna go ahead and skip to step 76? There's no big new concept. So right now we're on step 65. If it's okay, if learners are okay with this, we w we've calling a function, we've done this. That's they can do this.
Okay. Yep,
Okay, so
that's
this is a
fair.
lot like what we've just done with removing and adding ARIA functions. Let's do the hard thing, just so we're not abandoning everybody. So your homework's gonna be to do this little gap in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I want to come here is because in this one, we're using the filter function method on arrays. So let's just get our bearings for the context here. We've got a function called delete song that takes an ID as a parameter. What we're going to do is use the filter function so that we can find out which song has the ID we want. So in our filter, actually before that, let's just look at how filter works. So here we've got an array of numbers. Here we're going to call on that array of numbers, hey, filter out all of the numbers, see with our callback function, where this comparison, where this expression returns true. So all of the ones for which num is bigger than 3 gives us true, keep those in. So when we call num's greater than 3, it's going to give us 10, 8, 4, and 5. And you know what? You know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go on Python Tutor and look at everything.
Yeah. So I know different things are hard for different people, but this seems like I'm not freaked out by this, and I'm freaked out by almost everything.
Yeah,
So here, let's
Mhm.
talk. Yeah. And that's not helpful for other learners for me to be like, ha ha ha, this doesn't freak me out. To be like, well, it freaks me out. So if I've got an array, I'm using this filter method and I say, hey, I'm specifying that I want to keep. I want you to filter out everything that doesn't fit this. So
Yeah.
filter will make you a new array, or will it return the items from an array? Or let's see. Let's see.
So yeah, I want to address one thing Kristen says. It's weird to me that that needs a whole function instead of just an argument. But remember, the function is an argument, Kristen. So num_r.filter, everything inside it, all of this here is the argument in that function call. The function is an argument. So we're calling, hey, call filter, and for each function, if for each value in that array, call this function. So
Oh, remember when I said I was fine with this?
hold on. I promise it'll get better. So we have an array. Cool. So we're going to call filter, which takes a function. And this function is going to be run for every num in the array. So
Like a
first
loop.
it starts, exactly. First it starts with 1. So we're going to check, hey, is num bigger than 3? Is 1 bigger than 3? It is not. So that returns false. Return value false. Then we're doing 10. Is 10 bigger than 3? Yes, it is. Return true. 8. Is 8 bigger than 3? 3? Yes. Return true. Num is now 3. Is 3 bigger than 3? No, it's not. 3 is equals to
Because
3.
we haven't said equal to or bigger. You're right.
So what filter does is that it calls this function on every member of the array, and it keeps all of the one, and it returns all of the ones for which this is true. So let me just finish going through this array real quick. Now that it's done calling this function on each member, it's going to be like, cool. Hey, num's greater than 3. Here you go. Here's all of the members of this array for which your callback returned true, which is 10, 8, 4, and 5. And do you want to hate me? Let's
I
rewrite.
always hate you.
Fantastic. Let's rewrite this in a different way. How would you do this filter? Here's how I would do it. Let me comment this out real quick. So what if we have const num's greater than 3 equals empty array for const num in num r if num is bigger than 3, num's greater than 3 dot push num.
So num is just a variable that we picked here. Like num is just a placeholder. It could be anything.
Correct. So
Cool.
check this out. We're going through our array as we did before. And if the num is bigger than 3, we then push it. Hold on. Am I doing something? I made a mistake. Hold on. See, I told you I made this mistake. It's not in, it's of.
And it is very, very chill to make a very laid back mistake.
Absolutely. So is 1 bigger than 3? No. Is 10 bigger than 3? Yes. Push that into our new array. And check it out. It's building out the array. This is essentially what the filter function is doing. It's filtering out all of the 1.
Okay. So these are two different ways to do the same action, to have the same result. And what filter is doing is just sort of a built-in version of this pushing stuff in and out of arrays.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So these are essentially doing the same.
The only big difference in the result of this is we're learning this syntax, so we're using the syntax.
Now, we could make this cursed.
Why would you? Where we're like, okay, yeah, we feel okay. And while you're typing the curse stuff, Scar makes a really good point. We're like, we're talking about imperative versus declarative programming, and these are brand new terms. And I'm so excited when a learner brings these up and not us. So we say, okay, we've got two different concepts: imperative and declarative, and filter is imperative. And I really, really love this because Scar is saying, well, imperative is code that tells a machine how to do a thing. Like, hey, I want you to use filter to do this. Whereas declarative, you're using less specific, but you're like, hey, I want you to. So declarative, you're more using your words to describe what you want to happen. Whereas imperative is like, hey, here's this built-in thing that you as JavaScript already know how to do. Is that?
I think so.
Okay.
But check this out, everybody. I've made now a function called callback, which takes a variable num, and it returns whether that num is bigger than 3. Now look at what's happening. In my for loop, I'm checking on num. Num right now is 10. Now it's saying, hey, if callback num, cool, let's go into callback. Yeah, is num bigger than 3? Yes, it is. then we do nums greater than 3. This is pretty much how filter works. So this callback could be something else. What we make it less than 3? Cool. Let's run it again. So now we're checking that num is smaller than 3. Is 1 smaller than 3? Why, yes, it is. Put that into the nums greater than 3. Okay, that variable name doesn't work anymore. But you know what I mean. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. We need to wrap up. Let's use that filter method on user data dot question mark dot songs dot filter. So the callback will have that song because we're looping through each song here. And we're going to use implicit return, which means no curlies. Song ID is strictly not equals to ID. Assign all of that to user data.songs. So user data.songs is equals to all of the user data songs for which the ID is not that ID. How does it look? Cool. So essentially what we're doing is removing all of the songs, keeping all of the songs that don't have the ID that we passed to this function, which if you think about it is deleting the song. We are filtering out the song that has this ID. Cool. Let's look at homework real quick before we go into Q&A. Now we've skipped a lot and I do apologize, but what I wanted to make sure is that the core concepts got
He's
done
not
here.
sorry. He's not really sorry.
I am sorry. So that y'all can see these so that you could see the most important concepts and do some of the development on your own. And of course, have your finished music player. Tomorrow, we will start with the date formatter, which is significantly shorter.
Wait, is it literally just doing like American date formatting versus
I have no idea.
rest of world?
Shall we?
I do like those methods. We'll learn about it together. Oh, question answer.
Cool. Yeah, keep them. Bring them in. So, Monica asks, so is CSS class list a standard built-in function that all HTML elements can call? Do you know what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to go on MDN and look it up. Class list property. Yes. So all elements have a class list. Great question. Oh, actually, Mitch beat me to it. Thank you. Shiny, you're asking, why are we using question mark with user data? Let's hop on Python Tutor.
Hop. And while you're typing this out, let's talk homework. Your homework, if you've somehow magically kept up with us, is to try and finish the rest of this out. I do not, in a million bright and shining worlds, expect anybody to be caught up with doing this whole. We wouldn't be up to where we're at if we were doing all our homework in real time. But also, you have to have.
So we got an error, but if we put in a question mark here and a question mark here, then it's going to be like, look, if you have it, give it to me, please. Otherwise, is that correct? Why am I getting an unexpected token? Isn't it question mark? Oh, it could be Python Tutor doesn't like this. Anyway, question mark dot says, hey, if you have it, give it to me. If not, give me an undefined. That's fine.
So it's really the difference between if I've asked for this and you don't have it, I'd get an error if I didn't use the question dot. But because I've given it the option of giving me null back, this is me saying, hey, please give this to me if you have it. But if you don't, just pass me back null. This is not important enough to return an error.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we in the play song function, we assign user data to song based on checking IDs, assigned to audio SRC and song SRC. Why do we assign it to song in each function? Is it a bigger concept or just a local concept made to confuse me? So let's look at play song real quick. So we're just setting this here. We are retrieving, we are temporarily retrieving which song is playing, which song we want to play. We set the audio. So this is telling the browser's built-in audio player to play that song with that title. Is that correct? I think so. Where's audio? If I could spell audio. Audio. Yeah. The audio is the web player of music.
Yeah.
So we're telling it, hey, set this to be the source and the title of the current song playing. And we have to do that every time we play a song because, of course, that's how we switch songs.
And like we need to have so audio, Monica points out, audio is
Audio
built in. So this is us using the web audio API, which is actually a pretty advanced concept. So if you're saying, why do we keep saying audio, 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 audio? And this is because we're using the built-in external functions of an API. And if you think, I have no idea what this means, cool. APIs are reasonably complex. Can I talk about a learning concept?
Please.
Really fast. So,
of course.
The difficult thing with learning really complex topics, we've already talked about abstracting complex things away so they can't hurt you yet. The other hard things is you need to review stuff. That's not so hard. You see it in these courses where we will type some HTML and we'll type some stuff we've already learned to cement that. The really hard part is when we preview stuff. So we say, look, we've abstracted a lot of this away because we don't want it to hurt you, but we want to let you try small pieces of more complex concepts that are going to come up in the future. We want to show you the outline of the scary things to come, not so scary. So when we're talking about the web audio API, we've abstracted a lot of it away so it's less complex because we kind of don't have the time and because APIs get kind of scary. Here we're saying, look, we're showing you some of the built-in functions of the web audio API, and we'll learn more about this later. We promise.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we're not going to cover APIs. So y'all get to the next free code camp certification on your own, and they will cover it. I promise. Sorry.
Got a question here from Kelvin asking, what's the difference between inner HTML and inner text and text content? Got an article.
Oh, you got it first?
Sorry, let me share that everywhere. Got an article.
And actually, Mitch is the one who found this article. So I'd love to we should claim credit.
Typing.
Oh, no. Sorry.
No, that was on me. It wasn't. I did not see that you shared that, Mitch. My bad. Okay, what else we got? Kelvin's asking, is there an advantage to using function rather than arrow function notation? We covered this briefly the other day. Let me give you the very, very, very short version. Function do thing. Let's call it add. A, B, return A plus B, and const add equals A, B, A plus B. Okay. There's no inherent advantage. Both in theory do the same thing. There's an article that's in the Discord as well about arrow functions versus functions. But some people don't like typing out the word function and make typos of it. So they said, hey, let's simplify this or make it shorter. Give us arrow functions. This is how you write multi-line functions can only be multiple lines. Arrow function can have implicit returns, which means if you leave out the curly brackets, whatever's in here is whatever this expression is will be returned implicitly
as the value of the variable const that you've had here.
Correct.
Yeah. So const will be set to that.
Yeah. Okay. Const array 1, ABC, const array. Oh, the formatting here got kind of messed up.
So
okay. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just so Calvin's saying, hey, let's go back and think about the spread operator again. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Does it make sense to just make a second array and set it to the value of the first array rather than use spread? And I think you can do that. So you could say, but that means that you won't be able to change them separately.
Correct.
So if I
Let's be.
have, oh, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I have an array of animals and I say cat, dog, piglet,
But
and then I,
shall we do this one here?
please, please, please. Oh,
Sorry, like
you're yeah.
I wrote out a couple of arrays. I'm sorry, Jess.
No, 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 no. I was really excited to say piglet on the stream because I think it's the world's best English word.
Let's put it in there. So I've got an array 1 and I've got an array 2, which is set to be array 1, and I'm console logging array 2. It's giving me piglet 2, 3. If I array 1 dot push puppy, then I console log array 2, even though I modified array 1, because array 2 is set to be a reference to array 1, array 2 also got modified. However, if I use the spread operator, what I'm doing here is having what's called a copy. It's taking all of the elements in array 1 as they are at the time and putting them into array 2. So even though I go and change array 1, because array 2 is a copy of the contents of array 1, not a reference to array 1 itself, array 2 doesn't change.
Cool. So if I set the value to array 2 to be the same as array 1, it means that they both get changed at the same time if I can change it. If I use spread, it means I can do different stuff with them.
Shallow copy.
Shallow copy. Oh, this is quite a good way to say. Hang on, wait, we've got to get through this question and answer so people can go. I mean, hopefully they're already home.
Oh no,
Oh,
we're done.
We're done. Okay, your homework, if you've got the time and if ever. So Mitch asked one more question, and I want to answer this one and say, oh, in professional coding, which do you see more, the function or the arrow function? And I've just said, like, look, it depends. Like, it depends on your boss's preference, each individual programmer's preference, and what kind of project. Like, it's just personal taste. If you're working on my team.
If I may offer some advice, trying to figure out at this stage which one is the best one is not going to be about best use of your time. The wonderful and horrible thing about JavaScript is that it is inconsistent across every single code base. People will not use semicolons. People will use semicolons. People will do arrow functions. People will not do arrow functions. In 5 years, my friends, they will probably change fundamentally how you do functions in JavaScript because JavaScript changes over time.
That's a good point. Your point is never write any JavaScript and it can't hurt you. As long as you never write any, it can't change from under you.
If I may recommend, if you see stuff, if you find yourself thinking about or seeing arguments about best practices, I would recommend personally to emotionally detach from those because those best practices will change. They are fickle. And that's okay. It just means that what is the best for you to pick up over time? For example, if you find yourself enjoying writing arrow functions more, cool. If you find yourself enjoying writing functions more, cool. But in your code base, be consistent.
I would also say, so Monica's like, oh, it'd be nice to see what's weird in JavaScript and weird in another language. And Eric's like, oh, do you know what? Would Python hurt us in the same way? Python would hurt us in different ways. Yeah. The other thing is, while we're talking about like, hey, go with the flow, don't get too like, but I learned it this way because things will change. I can tell y'all how to live. I can tell y'all how to live. You meet a ton of developers who are like, this is the only way that and it's genuinely about stuff that doesn't matter. But like, no, you must write your functions, zeros functions. Otherwise you're bad developer. And they just fight with other folks about nothing. No, y'all aren't going to be those kind of programmers. Y'all like, no.
I just find getting stressed about like these best practices or why we do this, when should I do this or the other. Um, yeah, Mitch is saying it pretty well. Understand the fundamentals and we can do it any way we want is what you're saying. Yeah, because you're going to find both variants, arrow functions and function functions. You're going to find both. So what I'm getting at is to write from memory. If you've got one that you can reach for that feels more comfortable, go for it. Reading other people's code, if you see an arrow function and you're like, oh yeah, I know those, that's good. Then you're golden.
Okay, wait. Everybody's making very funny, very charming comparisons about the pain of different programming. How about I will call it this? Please have the easiest possible morning or night or afternoon. Tomorrow we're just gonna do a little tiny like boop 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 one. It'll hurt us less. Oh no, it's about date formats. It'll hurt us in a different way, just like
It'll be
JavaScript.
absolutely fine.
Bye, my loves.
Bye, everyone.